And we say good morning to you. We're broadcasting live. There is a wreck, I will tell you, on Interstate 26. If you're coming from, like as I was, from Elizabethton to here at Eastern Star exit, you will encounter, I think they're cleaning it up, but it's still backed up. I had to go the old way, drop down off the interstate and come in here the old way. So a little bit late getting on, but there is a wreck between Boones Creek and Gray exit. Interstate 26 westbound. So if you're coming from Johnson City and coming towards Kingsport on the interstate, just know there's going to be a delay, and there is. And so we shot down off the interstate, went the back way, kept moving, but puts us behind a smidgen. We leave the tour schools at Elizabethton High School and come to Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. Here we are. We're ready to go. So let's get it started. We'll do it as we always do with the national anthem and also the verse today. And our first guest is here talking Tennessee football. Tennessee basketball. The Volunteers opened up last night 80-42. Is that right? Over Tennessee Tech. John Pelfrey's team. The Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. So we'll talk Tennessee football, Tennessee basketball, the Lady Vols. So Tennessee could be an interesting game coming up Saturday, I would think. At least I think it's going to be when they truck off to Missouri. But we'll take care of that with Jeff Beverly coming up. First, here's the national anthem from T.R. Dunn on the Tom Taylor Sports.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
This Friday night, it's round 2 of exciting Elizabethton Cyclone playoff football. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting to join Richard Van Huss and yours truly as we travel to Anderson County to battle the defending state champs in 4A football, the Anderson County Mavericks. The winner moves on to the quarterfinals. The loser's season is over. Airtime at 6:25, kickoff at 7 o'clock this Friday night, audio and video. The Cyclones and the Anderson County Mavericks. It all starts at 6:25 this Friday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Cyclones. And back at the Tom Dillon Sports Show, thanks for being with us. We are live. We're here again at Phil's Dream Pit. The quest for perfect barbecue. If you've not had, let me just go ahead and tell you, they're taking orders. Brian's going to join us here in a few minutes. If you have not had the hickory smoked ham or turkey for the holidays, you don't know what you're missing. I'm here to tell you it is awesome. And they sell a bukus of them, a bunch of them, boatload of them, whatever adjective you want to use. They flat move the hams and turkeys. Got them going on right now. You can, let's see, you have to the 18th, which is next Saturday, to order. The hams are $9.50 a pound. The turkeys are $13.99 a pound. You can pick them up the 21st and 22nd. That would be Tuesday and Thanksgiving Eve. This is, of course, for Thanksgiving. We'll do it again for Christmas. So it is awesome, and they are good. I'm telling you, they're really, really good. Every time I get one, I take it to a social event or a Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, Christmas dinner. It's happened 3 years in a row. Let's see what Tom brought one. Let's see what he's got. What's his
You're
taste
the hero.
like? And they literally take the ones, the other hams and turkeys off the table and leave ours on there. Leave mine on there from Phil's. It's that good, folks. I'm telling you. So please consider getting a ham or a turkey for the holidays. We'll talk more about that in a moment. He's here wearing his UT hat. Our buddy Jeff Beverly with the Big Orange Update. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning, Thomas. Doing well. How about you?
It just smells good when you pull in there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It just your tongue just slaps the roof of your mouth. Can't wait to get in it.
I said, hey, can you come be on the show tomorrow? Where are you going to be? Phil? Yes. I was okay.
Sure.
Because he gets lunch.
Absolutely.
All the guests get lunch. And so let's start last night, Tennessee men's basketball. This basketball team apparently has got a lot of promise, a lot of moving parts, pretty deep bench, and they went out last night and rolled over Tennessee Tech.
They did. A little bit of a slow start, but, they brought Vescovy back. He's been, out of the country for his grandmother's funeral. So this is really the first time he's played in a full scrimmage or event with this team. And then was able to introduce Zakai Ziegler back after his ACL back at the end of February last year, which amazing, can be back in 8 months. He played, I think, about 12 minutes last night. Looked pretty good. Seemed to be as quick as ever. Had a couple of steals and some 2 or 3 or 4 assists. Hit 1 3-pointer. So, this team is deep. Dalton Connect, we talked about him last week. He's the transfer from Northern Colorado. He's the real deal, folks. If y'all have not seen Tennessee in the scrimmages or on the game last night, when you get a chance, watch him. He's a great player. He's a great shooter. Has all kinds of moves without the ball really well. A sneaky good rebounder. And then Justin Gainey is the transfer from South Carolina Upstate. His dad, is one of the assistant coaches at Tennessee. He's a phenomenal three-point shooter. He was freshman of the year last year in that conference that South Carolina Upstate's in. So, 2 great transfers. Get Vescovy and Ziegler back in the flow of things. This team's only going to get better, and they looked great last night. They're very, very deep. They're about 12 people deep, really, to be honest. They'll have to cut that bench down a little bit as you get into play, but here early in the season, you want to play as many combinations as you can to see who's got what. But Tennessee's really deep, and I noticed this week that 2 of the 4 ESPN basketball experts, had picked Tennessee to make the Final Four this year. They've never made the Final Four, so that would be quite an accomplishment if they can do that. This team is really deep. They've got an amazingly tough schedule, non-conference coming up, and I wrote them down because I couldn't remember them all. They play at Wisconsin this Friday night. It's a tough road game.
Wow.
Then have Wofford back home. Then they go to the Maui Classic. Of course, everybody knows what happened with the fires over in Maui. It's been moved to Honolulu, but still called the Maui Classic. But start out with Syracuse. Then they'll either play Gonzaga or Purdue the next game. But also in that tournament is Kansas, UCLA, and Marquette. So it's like 3 or 4 of the top 10 in that tournament. So obviously, it's a chance to really establish, a good foundation for the season. Then after that, they come back and they go to UNC at Chapel Hill on the 29th of November. So another good test, obviously.
This is all in November.
All November, yeah.
Wow.
December, they play George Mason at home, Illinois at home, Georgia Southern at home. Then they go to San Antonio and play NC State. So, and then finish out with Tarleton State at home on the 21st before Christmas. Then they start conference play after Christmas, after the holidays. But non-conference schedules, I mean, that's, strength of schedule is going to be really way up there for Tennessee. And they may not, they may suffer 2 or 3 losses during this stretch, but it would really bode well for them when it comes to tournament time and comes time for placement. And, they may go out and just really really knock the socks off of all these teams. Like I said, they're very, very deep, and it'd be good to see some of these freshmen, these newcomers, start mixing into the mix with a lot of, of course, Josiah Jordan James has been there for 6 years now. He's back with the COVID year and all that. He's got to stay an extra year. He was really smooth last night, and they're not going to have to depend on him to do so much this year. He'll get a chance to rest more. He was very smooth. He had, I think, 4 3-pointers last night. Overall, just a good game. Vescovi didn't play all that much yet. He just played a few, maybe less than a half last night. Meshack, Jonas Adu, the big 7-footer inside. Then they got the 2 6'10", 6'11" freshmen, Estrella and Phillips. This is a really, really deep team, and he's going to have I guess it's a good problem to have, but he's going to have a problem finding playing 40 minutes. You got to mix all those 40 minutes in there with that group. So he's going to have a tough time getting a lot of those players a lot of playing time this year. But we know that a lot of those guys will be gone next year. So, James and Vescovi will be gone for sure next year. So it'd be good to get these newcomers and connect. I think it's just here for 1 year. So, they'll lose 3 starters going into next year. So, but the foundation's really, really solid right now.
How big is getting Ziegler back? Big?
Oh yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
He makes such a difference, and he's only 5'9", but he makes such a difference defensively because he prevents teams from getting into a good flow right off the bat. He's up there pestering their point guard. Last night he stole it from their point guard and was sort of almost going out of bounds. He sort of dove and flipped it back over to somebody was trailing the play. I forget who it was now for a dunk, And so it's like he's quick, and it looks like since of the injury, he's not lost any of his quickness. It didn't look like last night, but I'm sure they're going to keep his minutes down during this preseason because you want to have him for sure be as full speed as possible during the conference run. So these especially November, he may not get as many minutes as maybe we'd like for him to, but he's still. 8 months out from ACL surgery is sort of amazing that he's back this good. And last night, like I said, he looked really, really good last night.
We're live at Phil's Dream Pit, Eastern Star exit of Interstate 26, talking sports with our buddy, our resident UT expert, the Big Orange Update, Jeff Beverly. Hams $9.50 a pound, turkeys $13.99 a pound. You have until next Saturday to order for the Thanksgiving meal for your hams or your turkeys or both. Again, here at Phil's Dream Pit, 349. Oh gosh, can't remember the number off the top of my head. I'll get it here in a second. I do know because I called it 349 to tell him I was caught up in traffic. He said, "Come on when you want to come on. Get here when you get here." So let's see what it is. It is 349 6437. Probably need to write that down because I won't remember that. 349 6437. What's going on with the Lady Vols right now? What's going on with them?
Well, they had the exhibition game Sunday against the U.S. national team, which is really WNBA stars. So they got hammered pretty good, which you knew they would, obviously. But really good experience to go against that higher level of competition. They open up tonight against Florida A&M at home, and then they go to FSU. Then they have Florida State. Then they have Memphis and Troy. Then they play Indiana and Oklahoma in a tournament in Fort Myers the week of Thanksgiving. They come back to play Notre Dame, Ohio State, Middle Tennessee State.
Wow.
Eastern Kentucky, Wofford, and Liberty. They close out before they play conference play. So, again, the Lady Vols, just like the men's team, really having a tough pre-conference schedule, which is what Pat Summitt has always done, going back 30 years. She always had a really tough. Tennessee's strength of schedule traditionally has always been the tops in the nation. And, again, for Kelly getting this team going, got a couple of newcomers. And so to play that level of competition early in November and December only will bode well for them going into the tournament or in the conference play. And it was a surprising result from last night. LSU women got beat bad by Colorado at home,
Drilled.
which was a shock, really. Not the fact they got beat. I guess it's early. Anything can happen in these early games. They got beat by 14 points, and apparently Colorado sort of dominated the game. So a little bit of a surprise. But of course, they're coming off the national championship, so sometimes you sort of sit back and think we're good, and then the other teams come in and really play fired up basketball or football, wherever the case may be.
And so and they show you that you're not that good. At least they
Yeah.
were last night, because LSU got drilled last night on their home floor, as Jeff alluded to. So men's basketball, women's basketball, they're taking on all comers, and you'll never be able to fault Tennessee for saying we play a cream puff schedule, because they don't.
No, especially this year. And Coach Barnes has done that traditionally anyway. He's always had. He believes firmly in that. That you play tough competition early. It really seasons your team and gets you the tough experience that you need. Tennessee's not advanced as far in the tournament as we'd hoped to over the years, but Barnes has had them right there close. And eventually, if you keep building the team, keep building the foundation, it's going to happen.
Will pay off for you. We're here live. Hello, Lyndon Birchfield. Hello to Michael Stansberry. We are live here again. We're at Phil's Dream Pit. Eastern Star exit of Interstate 26. Man, you can't go wrong with this place. It is awesome with the daily specials. You've got, pork platter meal, the pulled pork. Oh, gosh. The daily specials. You got the sampler platter. You got all that here again at Phil's Dream Pit. Eastern Star exit of Interstate 26. Again, that phone number is 349-6437. They also got the web. We'll tell you about in a moment. You go to the web, and again, you can see from a catering standpoint what you would want to get. If you want them to cater your holiday meal, they can do that for you at 349-6437. Tennessee football, the Big Orange at Missouri on Saturday. Trap game for the Vols. They got to be ready to go. Can Missouri knock them off?
Oh yeah, Missouri's top 20. They've just lost their second game this past week to Georgia. Played Georgia tough. It was a close game into the fourth quarter. Missouri's a really solid team. They got a good quarterback. All-world receiver. Now, he got a little banged up against Georgia, Luther Burden, so we'll see if he's 100% for Tennessee. But a solid running back. Defense has been pretty salty, so he's built a good team out there in the last couple of years. Now, Tennessee has sort of had their way with him, especially since Coach Heupel's been there. He scored 62 the year before last out there, 66 last year, so they've put up 128 points the last 2 years against them. Now, I don't think they'll get 60 this year, but they don't have to. As long as they can sneak out a 1-point win, would be fine. As long as it counts as a W, that'd be the main thing. But it'll be a tough game. But I think Tennessee caught a little bit of a break. It's not at night. It's going to be a 3:30 CBS game, so I think that's a little bit better. Maybe not quite as juiced up atmosphere, and it's going to be warmer. It's always cool in Columbia in November. There's been a couple of games out there that were super cold. I know when Josh Dobbs played out there one year, I think the temperature's in the low 20s, and Tennessee won like 14-9 or something like that. Just really low scoring game. And it's but this game, the weather I think is supposed to be in the 50s in the afternoon. That may drop a little bit by the time the game's over, but it's, anyway, much better weather than you can potentially get in Columbia for those November games for sure. But Tennessee's got a chance, and we'll see. I mean, it's still in the realm, depending on what happens with Ole Miss and Georgia. Should Ole Miss upset Georgia and Tennessee can win at Missouri, then Tennessee and Georgia will be playing for the SEC East the next weekend in Knoxville. So either way, that game's going to be exciting. That's going to be a 3:30 game also. Either way, the Georgia game's going to be big. If Georgia wins, they've got the East wrapped up, but Tennessee could play a major role on the college football playoff picture if they could beat Georgia. Plus, they need to beat Georgia. Like, they haven't beaten them in a while, so they need to beat them. So we've ended streaks against Florida and Alabama in the last year or so. So hopefully they can end that streak against Georgia a week from Saturday. But first up, Missouri. Missouri will be tough. They're a good, solid team, which is a little bit surprising that they have advanced that much with this team this year compared to last year. But they're solid. So Tennessee will need to play solid. Be interesting to see how things are called in terms of the offensive line. Tennessee's not had a holding call from the opposing offensive line in 4 games, and it's just you just don't see that. I
No, you
mean,
don't.
and so it's unusual. A lot of people have been real upset about, especially the Alabama game. And there was a lot of pictures. People probably saw the still photos from the video where the Alabama lineman had the arms up around the necks of Tyler Barron and other players. And if you get in the interior where it's close in, you don't call it, that's part of it. But you get there on the edge where Tennessee's been so effective this year, and you get a guy with his arm up around his neck right in front of the official, and it's not called. And that happened numerous times. It happened in a Kentucky game as well. Like I said, they've gone 4 games without a holding call. And with Tennessee's pass rush being so effective the first half of the year, they've not had a sack now in 2 or 3 games. Well, that's part of the reason. And interestingly enough, Missouri had some questionable calls go against them with Georgia this past weekend, and Missouri's coach Drinkwitz didn't question the calls directly, but he sort of put it on the reporters. He said, "Well, I'm surprised that none of the reporters have asked about the officiating." Sort of in a backwards way, questioned it, but and I guess conspiracy theorists abound, but still, it's if Alabama or Georgia don't make the playoffs, it's big money loss for the conference. So that's just a fact.
Yep.
So people can take that and interpret it however they need to, but it's a $20 to $30 million difference for the conference if Alabama and Georgia win.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they go to the college football playoff. Now, I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just merely stating a fact, and people can interpret it however they want to.
We're here live at Phil's Dream Pit, so how good is this football team? We've had little peaks and valleys across the board. A, B, C, or D for Tennessee? What do you think?
I think B+ probably. Defense has been much better than anticipated, I think, going in. In fact, they are the number 1 rushing offense and number 1 rushing defense in the conference, which is a little bit of a surprise for most people to think about that. Maybe not so much the rushing, but the rushing defense being number 1 in the conference. They still give up some, passing, but against Kentucky, Kentucky came in with the number 1 rusher in the conference, Ray Davis, and Tennessee said, "You're not going to rush against us." Held him to 40 yards, but by doing that, then you're going to give up something somewhere else. So they were able to throw for over 300 yards, but nothing deep. It was all underneath stuff, short stuff. So they played sort of a soft zone until they got down close, and still just held Kentucky at 23 points. Hadn't made them kick a number of field goals instead of letting them score touchdowns. So I think you'll see a similar strategy and similar game against Missouri. I think they're not going to let them rush the ball. They're going to stop that. Probably the difference with them is Brady Cook for Missouri, their quarterback can run a little more than Kentucky's quarterback, so they'll have to account for that. But still, I don't think you'll see a lot of rushing. I think they'll make Missouri beat them throwing the football, and they've been very effective throwing the football. But soft zone and make them go the distance and not give up anything deep and get behind them kind of thing, and then see where it goes. Tennessee should be able to run the ball. They've run the ball on almost everybody this year. The 3 running backs are just outstanding. Milton's starting to run the ball a little more. That's something that wasn't there the first part of the year. And lately he started to run the ball a little more, and he's very effective running when he puts his mind to it. And he's 6'5", 240 or whatever. So
Big boy.
He's very effective when he runs and runs downhill, as they say. It'll be I think a game pretty similar to Kentucky, probably in the mid to upper 20s for scores for a score. So pretty similar to the Kentucky game.
Nico got some reps and threw a touchdown. What was your take on our coveted, prized quarterback?
He is very smooth. He's got sort of that it factor for a quarterback. You can just tell by watching him. He's got sort of an innate ability to escape the rush, to just sidestep rushers, and that kind of thing. Stuff you can't really coach. Just if you got it, you got it. He's a tremendous athlete. He's a world-class volleyball player, so he's a tremendous athlete, and obviously got the arm. I mean, he's not got the arm of Milton. Nobody does, but he's got a very strong arm. Looks very smooth. Threw the ball on the run a couple of times. It hit people on the run. I think Tennessee fans are going to be real excited next year when he takes over the starting job for sure. And I think their offense will be probably closer to what Hendon Hooker had than what Joe Milton's been able to do. Joe Milton's done great. He's done really good the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's played really well, much better than early in the season. But like I said, I think a lot of that can go back to he's starting to run the ball a little bit. But his passing has been phenomenal. He's been over 75% completion the past 3 games, and so and I forget how many touchdowns, but no interceptions the last 3 games, and over 75% completion, close to 1,000 yards, 800 some yards passing. So you can win with that, and so we'll see how he does. But I think overall, the offense has come around a little bit in the last month, and I think they'll do well against Missouri.
Missouri, Georgia,
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt there or here?
That's in Knoxville.
Knoxville, so it's home. So there you go. That's what you got coming up. Tennessee has Missouri on the road this Saturday. The big one coming up next Saturday, the 18th, at home against the Georgia Bulldogs, the 2-time defending national champion. And then wrap things up with Vanderbilt at home. You're bowl eligible, so and still playing for a chance to win the SEC East, right?
As of right now, until the Georgia Ole Miss game goes final, we'll see what that does. But if assuming that Georgia wins that game, which I'm sure they're favored, and then they probably will, although Ole Miss has played really well this year, we'll see how that goes. But assuming Georgia does win the East, regardless of what happens with the Tennessee-Georgia game in terms of determining the East champion, it's still a chance for Tennessee to win that game, perhaps go 10-2, and position themselves for another New Year's Six game. Or at least, if not New Year's Six, at least one of the top tier bowl games. If they finish if they lose to Georgia, if they beat Missouri, lose to Georgia, finish 9-3, you're probably still looking at probably the Citrus or Outback. Well, it used to be called Outback. I forget what it's called now, but one of those Florida bowls on New Year's Day, right around New Year's Day. So if they can do that, that'll be another good season to build on the going, back-to-back solid seasons for Coach Heupel. And as we talked about, you got to build these recruiting classes on top of one another. Tennessee's top 10 essentially recruiting for 2024 for the signing class that will actually coming up in December, about a month from now, will be that first signing class, first early signing date. They're very solid. There's a few out there still that have not committed that Tennessee's in on. So then you're starting to see some people decommit now from other schools. There's a wide receiver decommitted the other day, one of the top wide receivers. And Tennessee being able to hold off Colorado, particularly for Boo Carter, the player from Bradley Central, one of the top player in the state of Tennessee. Really an amazing, dynamic player. He visited Colorado, but reaffirmed his commitment to Tennessee. So, and he's been helping to recruit other players to Tennessee. So I'm anxious to see him next year. But they can finish strong and then have a good month of bowl practice. And go out there like they did last year and build off that bowl victory like they did against Clemson last year, and build off a good bowl victory going into next year.
We're talking to Jeff Beverly. We're live here again at Phil's Dream Pit. So what's your take on the sign stealing with the Michigan Wolverines? Now, Harbaugh said we're going to let the process take care of itself. Michigan's come out today and said we're investigating. There's going to be some penalties involved. The guy that was suspended with pay is now fired. He's no longer on the staff, Connor Stallion. So is there anything to do with this? Where there's smoke, there's fire?
No, there's fire.
Yeah.
I think. And what's going to be interesting, that I think the Big Ten has announced that they will have a decision by tomorrow on any potential suspensions. Can you imagine Michigan's having their best team they've had in a long, long time, and they're very, very good. Everybody's watched them play. They're very solid, defense, offensively, everything. But it'd be a shame for the current players in some aspects, obviously, but to be able to not have an opportunity to play for the CFP championship this year, but that potentially could happen. Now the CFP can still, they're not bound by anything. They can still rank whoever they want to, but they probably have a lot of pressure to not rank Michigan if the Big Ten should suspend Harbaugh and/or suspend them from playing in the Big Ten championship. The CFP probably have a lot of pressure to not have them in the Final Four. We'll see how that goes. They have stated that that's got nothing to do with their selection. That's an NCAA issue, whatever. And true, I guess that's true that is. But from a public perception standpoint, I don't think a lot of people will be real happy if Michigan is guilty, or at least guilty enough to where they've been suspended or whatever, to have them in the CFP. That would leave a lot of people sour, especially a team that's in fifth.
Well put.
Washington, Oregon, Alabama, whoever that ends up being in the number 5 spot. If Michigan takes that last spot, and then it does come out ultimately that they are guilty of a lot of stuff and gets a lot of things, they could, I guess, get victories vacated or whatever. And I mentioned you the other day, it's an oddity what happened at the end of last year with South Carolina and with Tennessee and Clemson games. South Carolina struggled the whole year, barely able to have any offense, and then against Tennessee and Clemson, they go nuts. Well, we found out, that was two of the games that this guy scouted was Tennessee and Clemson, two of the teams they scouted.
Yep.
And there's a connection between one of the coaching staff members of South Carolina and Stallion. Did that happen? I don't know, but it certainly
Where the smoke just fired.
that certainly leaves credence to, because I don't know if anybody's ever seen an anomaly in a game like the South Carolina-Tennessee game last year. I mean, South Carolina didn't even score a touchdown the week before, and then they come in and score 7 touchdowns against Tennessee. I don't know. That's one. I've been watching football since the '60s. That's the most unexplainable game I've ever seen in my life, and at any level was that game.
South Carolina game last year. Yeah.
So now whether it was, I don't know. I mean, there's conspiracy theories out there for sure. Like you said, there is some level now of question about how they finished the season against Tennessee and Clemson.
We're talking to Jeff Beverly. Appreciate him very much coming here. So, in closing, Georgia's still your number one team in the country, bar none, or is there a question?
I think Georgia or Michigan. Ohio State was getting a lot. They were number one last week. Now, the college football playoff rankings come out tonight, and Ohio State was number one last week. Georgia's second. But Ohio State struggled against Rutgers this past Saturday. Trailed for a part of that game. Ended up winning, I think, a couple of scores, but it was a sort of an ugly game. Now, the CFP has shown that they'll bounce people around. They don't leave them just, ranked the same each week. They'll bounce you around a little bit. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Georgia go back to number one this week, or Michigan, and Ohio State drop a couple of spots. We'll see tonight at 7 when that comes out. But I think Georgia or Michigan probably should be number one. Ohio State's right there too. Florida State, they're up there, but they've not been super impressive. But they've won. They've not been super impressive. And Alabama's playing real well right now. They've got
they are.
Milrose coming along, and they've finally sort of settled on what Milroe can do from a quarterback standpoint. And the past 4 weeks they've been really, really solid. It's probably as good as anybody. In Washington is just phenomenal. I think they're a fun team to watch with Michael Penix, the quarterback. They're a great team. Oregon's just got the one loss to Washington by 3 points, so they're a solid team. Both those on the West Coast. And I guess a lot of people thought the team from out there that people would be thinking about would be Southern Cal, but they've really
He fired his offensive coordinator.
defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator.
Yeah. I mean, they gave up 52 to Washington this past week. Southern Cal is really, I think this is their second or third loss already. So then they may lose another one before it's over too. So, but there's a handful of those teams, probably those 6 or 7 teams we mentioned. From that group will be the 4 that make it to the playoff.
Trying to find it. I had it here. I always have a stack of papers. You know that. But Michigan will go to Penn State on Saturday. Is that a trap game for the Wolverines?
That'll be a tough game. It will be. Now, Michigan's not had a very tough schedule so far, but that will be a tough game. Penn State's a decent team. They're not great. They're a good, solid team. It's at Happy Valley, so that should give Nittany Lions an opportunity to beat Michigan. But again, whether it's subconscious or whatever, but you think of these conferences, they don't want teams upsetting their chances for the playoffs. So you think Michigan, Ohio State probably get a favorable whistle until they play each other. Same way with Alabama and Georgia. I mean, we saw Georgia get a number of good calls against Missouri last weekend, and then Lane Kiffin's not everybody's favorite person either. So I imagine Ole Miss would not get a very favorable whistle Saturday in Athens either. So
can Ole Miss beat? Can they go in and beat Georgia?
I think they can. I think they'd have to play pretty mistake-free to do it. But they've got a solid offense, and their defense has come along pretty good this year too. But Ole Miss's offense is really solid. They got some good skill players. Jackson Dart's playing well at the quarterback position for them, and Kiffin's always going to have good offense. So that'll be an interesting game. Tennessee, Missouri, and Ole Miss, Georgia are both. That's in the back. The one's at 3:30, one's at 7. So that's 6 hours of SEC football. Is going to really determine who goes to the SEC championship game.
Yep. Appreciate you coming by, sir. You hungry?
Sure.
Yeah. Get you some lunch. Some
Big,
Phil's.
long line,
Green Bit.
so
It's
as
been
usual.
busy.
Yeah.
As soon as they open the door, they've been slammed. They're open, of course, Tuesday through Saturday, closed on Sundays and Mondays. When you get in there on Tuesday, it is rocking. It's been rocking since they opened the door. That's good. So,
It's a good thing.
Yep. Thank you, sir, as
Yes,
always.
sir.
Jeff Beverly, our buddy, again, the Big Orange Update. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll take a look at high school football and the 5-star players of the week. We'll do that coming up next here, live at Phil's Dream Pit on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Really easy way to feed a family or a bunch of people. We start them off at 4. Dream pack for 4 runs $32.99, gives you a pound of meat. You can do pulled pork or pulled chicken, either one at that price. 3 sides, it's a pint each, so it's a 4-ounce serving of meat, 4-ounce serving of 3 different sides, gives you a really good meal that'll fill you up. It's not something that you eat and you're hungry later, an hour later. I'm going to include your buns, your barbecue sauce. Instead of picking up a pizza, come by here, pick up a Dream Pack. Your family will thank you. And if you need it for more people, the breakdown on it's $8.25 a person. 12 people, for instance, is $99. You'll see that advertising out from us in a lot of different places. Feed 12 people for $99. That gives you 2 pounds of meat, a quart and a half of each side. Still gives you the bun, still the barbecue sauce. Really, really popular. I had a group at Eastman just order a 16 for Wednesday. So you call us ahead. We can do as many people as you want. We do 100 people, 200 people. We'll put those in pans for you, or as few as 4. So in even numbers, however many you want, $8.25 a person. You can't beat it.
Cannot beat it, folks. Again, here at Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. The phone number is 349-6437. Hours are open
11 to 7, Tuesday through Saturday. We take Sunday and Monday off, but we're here the rest of the week.
Social media?
Social media on Facebook. Maybe Instagram later if one of my kids shows me how to use it, but right now it's on Facebook. That's where people watch you, so we'll figure they've got it here.
And the website is?
Website is philsdreampit.com.
You got it.
I see a familiar face here. Looks like he's ready to talk to you.
He is.
That's
our buddy Jeff.
Going to talk some NASCAR, I'm betting.
That's our buddy Brian Pipkin, the owner of Phil's Dream Pit. One of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. This Friday night, it's round 2 of exciting Elizabethton Cyclone playoff football. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting to join Richard Van Huss and yours truly as we travel to Anderson County to battle the defending state champs in 4A football, the Anderson County Mavericks. The winner moves on to the quarterfinals. The loser's season is over. Airtime at 6:25, kickoff at 7 o'clock this Friday night, audio and video. The Cyclones and the Anderson County Mavericks. It all starts at 6:25 this Friday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Cyclones! Of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. They sell a lot of steel here at Big John's. I'm a proud owner of 2 of those pieces of equipment. So we got show and tell here, the garden pruner. Tell us about this from Steel.
Well, you know, a lot of people, they don't need awesome, large, 20-inch bar chainsaws. Of course, a lot of people do, but a lot of people are just looking for basic items where they can prune a few of the smaller trees they've got around the house, or maybe the condo they live in, or whatever, where they rent, and they don't want to put a great deal of money in it, but they still is a little too much for a loping shear or something to cut. They don't want to get a handsaw out and start working on it. So, something along the nature of this little critter right here works very, very well. It is a battery, comes with your battery, with your charger, with your lubricant, your chain, everything you need. It's pretty much called a garden pruner, but it actually will take care of some pretty decent sized limbs that you've got. And it's on sale all the way through the end of the year. So if you're looking for a Christmas gift or something for, to go under the tree, that thing's $30 off. It's normally was $179.99. Now it's $149.99. We've still got good stock of it, so that's an item that might be something that'll fit that niche.
All right, and you've got one more over there, too.
Well, we're also looking, it's a time of year when all these leaves and things are coming down, and, some people still would like to have a gas-powered blower that's not so big as a backpack blower where they can handle it. It's pretty easy, pretty lightweight, got pretty good power to it. That BG56 is also on sale, and that's going to be running through December, and it is $69.99, which is $30 off. And that'll pretty much take care of a lot of the leaves and things you've got, unless you've got a huge property where you really need a backpack blower. But we've got a whole bunch of different steel items. You can go from smaller. You've got one below this that's about the same price, just a little bit cheaper possibly. Then you can go all the way up to a backpack blower, where you can really move a lot of leaves. That's what a lot of our, guys that's what they make a living doing, is mowing and cleanup, especially this time of the year. A lot of people are thinking about getting ready to, cut wood and get ready for that. We've got chains, we've got your oil, your mix, we've got the bars, and we've got new chainsaws. We've got that stock built back up, still got a little bit behind, but now they've caught back up pretty much. And they're actually going to be modifying some of their models to make them a little more efficient as far as that goes. So, we pretty much got what you need here. We also do in-house repair. We've got an in-house mechanic, and he's not too far backed up. So if you're needing a tune-up, or it just won't start, or it's set, most of the year, and you're trying to start it and it won't go, we can get it back up and get it running for you.
Hours are open at Big John's.
Do what now?
Hours are open.
Oh, we're here from 7:30 to 6 Monday through Friday, and 8 to 4 on Saturday. Of course, closed for the Lord's Day on Sunday.
How we find you on social media?
Well, you can go and, just www.bigjohnscloseouts.com. You can also go to experts at bigjohns.com, or you can send me, which is Mike, M-I-K-E, at bigjohnscloseouts.com.
And a phone number to call
is 423-542-4755.
There you go. They hammer high prices here at Big John's Closeout. They sell a lot of steel right here at a Big John's Closeout in Elizabethton, proud sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Elizabethton Cyclone Sports. Big John's Closeouts, where they hammer high prices. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we are live here again at Phil's Dream Pit. Don't forget those turkeys and hams for the holidays. You go $9.50 a pound on the hams. Ain't nothing better than a hickory smoked ham, smoked right here on premises from Phil's Dream Pit. Get one every year. Smoked turkey at $13.99 a pound. You can order until next Saturday, the 18th, and the pickup dates will be in the Tuesday and Wednesday Thanksgiving week in a couple of weeks. On Tuesday, the 21st, and of course the 22nd is Thanksgiving Eve. We'll be at where are we going to be on the 22nd? We will be at the Jeweler's Bench. That's right, giving away that $100 that you can register for. So, anyway, don't forget to get the hams and the turkeys available here again at Phil's Dream Pit. The quest for perfect barbecue. Hello to Charlie Hutchins. Hello to Carl Wilson and the boys watching out there working. I think they're in North Carolina working now. Appreciate them very much. Also, hello to Reba Whitehead, Charlie Hutchins, Teresa Tigg, hello, lady. Taz Irwin, my buddy Taz, made me some more ball caps. How you doing, sir? Got some of those going to be given away here on the show. All right, Monday Night Football, it was a yawner to say the least. I think the Jets got drilled by the visiting Chargers last night. 27-6 was the final. The win moved the Chargers to, hello, Frank Peters. How you doing, sir? The win moved the Chargers to 500. The Jets are also at 500 after having a 3-game winning streak snapped. So it was an ugly night for both offenses. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, 136 yards. He was sacked 5 times. Wilson, we're talking about Russell Wilson with a 259-yard night, but he was sacked 8 times. He had 13 sacks in the football game. Good grief. While committing 2 costly fumbles did Wilson. So anyway, Chargers beat the Jets 27-6 on Monday Night Football and was not, I wouldn't think, a ratings bonanza by any stretch of the imagination to watch that game. On a sad note, Carl Torbush, defensive specialist who at one point resurrected and had the East Tennessee State football program turned around, passed away yesterday at the age of 72. Again, Coach Torbush, who had been on the show, his career record is 31-48, 11-22 at ETSU, but he turned the program around, brought it back, because they shut it down. He brought it back. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Torbush family as they lose, again, Coach Torbush yesterday at the age of 72. As Jeff alluded to, Dalton Connect had 17. Number 9, Tennessee's defense in mid-season form. The Volunteers opened the season by beating Tennessee Tech and Knoxville 80-42. Connect, a Northern Colorado grad transfer, had 14 in the first half. Josiah Jordan James added 15, and Jordan Gainey had 11. Tennessee shot 46% from the field and 40% from three-point range. So the Volunteers, as Jeff talked about, will play at Wisconsin on Friday night. UConn raised the national championship banner last night, and then UConn again. They went on to beat Northern Arizona by 43 points after they raised the banner. Michigan State got knocked off last night. Fourth-ranked Spartans under Tom Izzo losing in overtime to James Madison by 3. Third-ranked Purdue, 19th-ranked North Carolina, 13th-ranked Miami, 22nd-ranked Villanova, top-ranked Kansas, a 33-point win over North Carolina Central. 15th-ranked Texas A&M, 18th-ranked Texas, 25th-ranked Illinois, 7th-ranked Houston. The Cougars all win last night. 14th-ranked Arkansas, 24th-ranked Alabama. Kentucky with a bunch of freshmen again for Calipari, known for his one-and-done. They beat New Mexico State by 40 last night at Rupp Arena. 5th-ranked Marquette, number 2 Duke, all get W's, as did 12th-ranked Arizona, 23rd-ranked St. Mary's, 21st-ranked Southern Cal, and 17th-ranked San Diego State. That's all on opening night of college basketball. Tonight, 2 involving top 25. Baylor, the Bears, at 20th in the country, hosting Auburn, and Creighton will be hosting the Rattlers from Florida A&M tonight in men's top 25 college basketball. Hello to Betty Lacey. How you doing, lady? Thank you for watching the show. We talked about this. The LSU women's basketball team last season 24-0. Started last season 24-0 and finished the season by winning the NCAA championship. They got beat last night to number 20 Colorado at home, 92-78. So actually played that one in Las Vegas, Hall of Fame game in Las Vegas, but still they got drilled by a 92-78. Wow, got beat by 14. Pretty impressive win by the ladies from northern Colorado, by Colorado, I should say, the Lady Buffs, winning big over LSU last night, the number 1 team in the country from a year ago. Also, as we were talking about with Jeff about the Michigan situation, the Big Ten has formally notified Michigan that it could be facing disciplinary action from the league. I'm telling you, there is no smoke. There is fire here. There's no way this is not happening. They still continue to deny it in Ann Arbor. Some folks have anyway, but no, there's no way. There's got to be something to this. So, Big Ten letter sent to Michigan as part of the Big Ten sportsmanship policy, which requires a notice of disciplinary action in the event it becomes clear that an institution is likely to be subjected to disciplinary action. Jim, my thought, and Jeff and I talked about this and went off there for the commercial break, that Harbaugh would leave, and there is talk he's going to go coach the Raiders next year. So we'll see. But Harbaugh is very much in the crosshairs of the NCAA, and so I'm going to sit down and take a look at it. So potential discipline for Michigan would be a suspension for Coach Jim Harbaugh rather than any team-related punishment. And so I agree with that. Why would the kids get punished for what the coaches and the coaching staff has done and knew about doing? It's not fair to the kids. If you're going to suspend somebody or punish somebody, it needs to be the coach himself, Jim Harbaugh, and the coaching staff. He is innocent until proven guilty, but all signs point to problems in Ann Arbor for sure. So, potential Big Ten discipline for him. The league sportsmanship policy allows them to impose up to a 2-game suspension and a $10,000 fine to Harbaugh, which is the kind of money these guys make. It's chump change. We know that. Any discipline exceeding those would fall under a major disciplinary action. And so, just stay tuned. It's still going on. They fired the guy that was suspended with pay. Now he's gone totally. Connor Stallions is gone from the team. And so, and I was showing Jeff this during the break. This is, appreciate Jeff Beverly coming down here too. He's retired. He can do a lot of things. He opts to come be on the show when he can, and I thank him for that. A former college football staffer sharing documents with Michigan that showed a Big Ten opponent had spreadsheets of the Wolverines' signs last year obtained before his team played Michigan. See, there's another, it's like throwing a rock at the pond. It just continues to ripple. The material relied on intelligence gathered from multiple conference schools that had already played the Wolverines. There you go. Screenshots of text message exchanges with staffers at other Big Ten schools. So, hello, John Harden. Thank you, sir. You're very kind. So, Michigan in trouble. Stay tuned. We can go on about this all day long, but the bottom line is they're in trouble, and they should be. If that's what, again, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty, but if, in fact, he's guilty, he being Harbaugh, they should penalize him and the staff that knew about it. I don't think it's fair to penalize the kids. I mean, they're trying to play football. They're not out here stealing signs and doing that. It's Comes down to the administration, in this case, the coaching staff. All right, 5-star players of the week, 4-star, here we go. The 1-star player of the week, Josiah McGann from Science Hill. 128 yards and a touchdown catch in the first-round playoff loss to Maryville. He's your 1-star player of the week. 2-star, Zeth Mullins, we called it. 3 touchdowns, 113 yards rushing. Cyclones beat Carter 38-0 in the playoff opener last week. He's your 2-star player of the week. 3-star, Dominic Burleson from Hampton. 214 yards and 3 touchdowns on 35 carries. This guy is a workhorse. Dominic Burleson, the 3-star player of the week, the junior from Hampton. 4-star player of the week from Hampton is Shaden Oliver. He ran behind Oliver. Oh, he's a lineman. He's a center. Okay, they ran behind Oliver for close to 300 yards, so he gets a player of the game. The 4-star player is Shaden Oliver, the center for the Hampton Bulldog football team. And then the 5-star player of the week is Colby Jones. Know his parents, know his family, great kid. 428 yards passing with 4 touchdowns. He rushed for 39. Unicoi County losing to Austin East. Heartbreaker, but 428 yards with 4 touchdowns and rushed for 39. Colby Jones is your 5-star player of the week from Unicoi County. So congratulations to Josiah McGann, 1-star from Science Hill. Zeth Mullins, 2-star from Elizabethton. Dominic Burleson, 3-star from Hampton. Shaden Oliver, 4-star from Hampton. And Colby Jones, the sophomore quarterback from Unicoi County, is your 5-star player of the week for this week with the Johnson City Press. Jeff Birchfield joins us at the bottom of the hour. He's going to be here talking NASCAR. Again, the war of words continues now between Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney and their camps. So got a little dicey, or whatever you want to call it. Again, at the last race in Phoenix on Sunday. We'll let Jeff kind of clear it out for you. Let's take a look at high school football. Who's playing where? Is we're into the second round of the TSSAA playoffs. We'll start in 6A football and work our way down. 6A on Friday night, Knox Bearden will be at Jefferson County. Bulldogs 8-3, the Patriots 10-1. Maryville 7-4 goes to Bradley Central 11-0. Cookeville 8-3 at Riverdale 9-2. Murfreesboro, Oakland at 9-2 will go to Mount Juliet at 9-2. Ravenwood 8-3 at Smyrna 7-4. Summit with a big upset last week at 5-6 will go to Brentwood, who's 11-0. Collierville at Houston. Collierville 8-3, Houston 9-2, and Germantown at 11-0 will host Bartlett at 8-3. That's your 6A playoff games. In the second round, all winners move on. Losers eliminated. Everything starts at 6 across the great state of Tennessee. In 5A football, Knox Powell 8-3 at Sevier County 10-1. Morristown West 6-5 at Knox West at 10-1. Oak Ridge will be in Atomic City. The Wildcats at 9-2 hosting Clinton at 5-6. Lenore City 7-4 will play at Walker Valley, who's 9-2 Friday night. Shelbyville 10-1 hosting Centennial at 9-2. Tullahoma, the Wildcats 8-3 at Page, who's 10-1. Hendersonville 8-3 will travel to Henry Creek, who's 10-1. And Southwind at 11-0 hosting Nashville Beach, who's 7-4. And that's your games in 5A football. In 3A, Kingston 8-3 at Gatlinburg, Pittman 10-1 on Friday night. Alcoa 9-1 hosting the Roadrunners of Austin East at 4-7. Also on Friday night in 3A football, Sequatchie County 7-4 at Meigs County, who's 11-0. Giles County 8-2 hosting McMinn Central, who's 8-3. Stratford 6-5 will play at East Nashville. East Nashville's 9-2 in 3A football. Liberty Creek 7-4 at Fairview 8-3. Dyersburg at 11-0 hosting Westview 7-4. And Covington 9-2 home to Ripley, who's 7-4. That's 3A football on Friday night. In 2A, one of the 3 teams still standing in Northeast Tennessee, the Hampton Bulldogs at 9-2, hosting Bledsoe County at 9-2. Going to be a great game Friday night. Looks like it's going to be rain and cooler temperatures, so enjoy what we got going on right now. Hello, Jason Barnett. How you doing, sir? Enjoy what you got now. Weather-wise, it's going to change. I'm going to pop it up here real quick and see just exactly what the forecast is for Friday night. And because I know we got rain coming and cooler temperatures, so enjoy what we got today. Man, it is gorgeous out there. And it will be on Friday. Let's see. You have, cloudy and colder. 70% chance of rain. Winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. high near 54 on Friday, which is a far cry from what we got right now outside, which is awesome. Friday night, the rain stops, but it's going to be colder. Mostly cloudy. Chance of showers during the evening. A chance of rain at 30%, the low of 36. So, in theory, you'll start playing football on Friday night at 7 o'clock, probably in upper 40-degree temperatures all across the area. We'll be in Anderson County, of course. So, 54 for your high on Friday. It's currently 72 outside, and absolutely gorgeous here in the hills of northeast Tennessee and western North Carolina and southwest Virginia. Verse of the day, let's give that to you. We always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. Psalms 102:1 says, "Hear my prayer, O Lord. Let my cry for help come to you." Psalms 102:1, "Hear my prayer, O Lord, and let my cry for help come to you." How about that? That's your verse of the day, Psalms 102:1. Continuing on, you have in 2A football, Bledsoe County at Hampton. We talked about that. Oneida 8-3 at York Institute, 11-0. Smith County at 9-2, hosting Fayetteville, 6-5. You have Marion County at 11-0 on Friday night. Marion County in 2A football, hosting East Robertson, 10-1. Peabody will be at Riverside. Peabody 5-6. Riverside at 9-2. Huntington at 10-1, hosting Milan at 9-2. Mitchell 10-1, and Memphis Business at 7-3. And Memphis Fairley at 8-2, hosting Oak Haven, who is a 5-5 football team. That's in 2A. In 1A Friday night, Greenback 5-6 at Oliver Springs, 8-3. Rockwood 6-5 at Coalfield, 10-1. Clay County at 7-4 will go to South Pittsburgh and play there. They're 11-0. Gordonsville 7-4, hosting Whitwell. They are 8-3. Eagleville 7-4 will be at Moore County, 11-0 on Friday night. McKenzie 10-1 at Collinwood, 7-3. Memphis Middle College at 7-4 at Dresden, who's undefeated at 11-0, and Union City at 8-3 at MASC, who's 9-1. That's your 1A. What'd you have to eat, sir? What'd you get? Brisket. What was your sides? Mac and cheese. That was it. Brisket and mac and cheese. Happy? Swelled up like a tick, he said. So. Good food here, folks. I'm telling you, Phil's Dream Pit. We're going to talk about those smoked ham and smoked turkeys coming up here in a second. So Jeff had the brisket and mac and cheese. Can't go wrong with that. In 4A football Friday night, the Greenville Green Devils home at 9-0, hosting Gibbs at 9-2. Big matchup there. Going to be a good football game. Been told that Greenville's going to blow them off the field. We'll see. You're 9-2 for a reason, so we'll see. Greenville and Gibbs Friday night in Greenville. Macon County 10-1 will go to Red Bank. The Battle of the Lions is 8-3. Stone Memorial 7-4 will go to Upperman. They are 11-0. Pearl Con at 11-0, hosting Station Camp 6-5. Marshall County 9-2 will go to Hardin County, who's 11-0 Friday night. Millington 9-2 at Haywood 9-2, and Dyer County at 6-5 will go to Melrose at 8-3. That's in 4A football. All the winners move on. The losers go home. Again, should be rainy and cold on Friday night for the game. And so that's what's going on all across 4A football. We've got one Friday night trucking down to Anderson County, and here's some folks to tell you about it on the Tom Taylor Sports.
This Friday night, it's round 2 of exciting Elizabethton Cyclone playoff football. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting to join Richard Van Huss and yours truly as we travel to Anderson County to battle the defending state champs in 4A football, the Anderson County Mavericks. The winner moves on to the quarterfinals. The loser's season is over. Airtime at 6:25, kickoff at 7 o'clock this Friday night, audio and video. The Cyclones and the Anderson County Mavericks. It all starts at 6:25 this Friday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Cyclones.
Right here. Talking to one of our great sponsors again, our buddy Brian Pipkin from Phil's Dream Pit Catering. Tell us about catering.
Well, you know, Tom, that's one thing that we don't advertise a whole lot, but that we do a lot of is catering for events. So you can give us a call. We can quote your pricing, sit you down, tell you exactly what we do. But we bring a crew out there. We set everything up for you. We serve all your guests. We tear it down. We clean up after ourselves and basically just take care of the whole shooting match for you. So we do a lot of weddings. Recently handled a celebration of life for a 5-year-old who lost in battle with cancer, so that was a little bit of an emotional day. But whatever the needs are, we're going to try to fill them. So give us a call. We'd love to cater your event.
Can we order anything off the menu, or do you have a select catering menu?
We do have a little bit of a selection. About the only thing that we can't do catering is our hash brown casserole. It doesn't travel and serve particularly well in that environment. It's something that needs to come out of the oven, stay warm, and stay fresh. But everything else is opened up. If it's not something that's on our catering menu and it's something you want, we'll figure it out.
What about the sides?
Sides, we do. So when we cater an event, we're going to come in with meat and with 3 of our sides. So, most customers take our pulled pork, make it simple. That way you don't have 5 or 6 different things and make sure you don't run out of food. But we can bring pulled pork. We can do our beans, macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, potato salad, macaroni salad. We're going to bring 3 of those sides with us. Make sure your guests have plenty to eat. Bring an entire crew out. Serve it just like you do here in the restaurant. We've got warmers that travel with us that run off electricity that keep things a lot hotter and fresher than the little gas things that you always see people bring out. So it's a full event. We bring our van, bring a crew, and we can get you set up for whatever you want.
Is there a number that you'll max out at, or the more the merrier?
The more the merrier. It gets cost prohibitive to do really small groups. We'll quote it for you, and we'll try to make it work. But typically, you see it start paying off at 75, 100, 125, 150 people. And I know a lot of your following comes out of Elizabeth, and we'll go to Elizabeth and cater. I've got a wedding there in a couple of weeks that we're getting ready to do. So, we'll absolutely we'll travel for these catering to make it work for you if we can.
How do we get a hold of you?
423-349-6437 is the best way if you want to quote on catering. You can also view our website, philsdreampit.com. Select a little drop down that says other menus, and you'll see a catering menu and pricing. But we'll sit down and figure it all out for you and make it work if we can.
There you go. Well, our great sponsors, folks. Love coming out and promoting these folks. Again, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Brian and the gang right here at Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. Interstate 26, Eastern Star exit. Can't go wrong. Open Tuesdays through Saturdays at Phil's Dream Pit. Back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show, let's take a look at some Major League Baseball. Lots going on now, the bigs right now. Free agent market's open up. The Mets have a new manager. They fired Buck Showalter. He's gone after going 75-87. Despite the largest payroll in the history of the sport for the Mets, didn't get her done. They've hired Carlos Mendoza, their new manager, coming over from the Yankees. Been with the Yankees in different capacities over the last 15 years. And so Carlos Mendoza now the new manager for the New York Mets. The Guardians, Terry Francona had to step down for health reasons. They've hired Steve Vogt, the 45th manager in Cleveland history. Vogt has a 3-year deal. So he's been with the Mariners organization, and now he's coming over to fill big shoes left by Terry Francona. Won the most games by a skipper in Cleveland history at 921. The team's longest tenured manager after 11 seasons. Stephen Vogt takes over as the manager for the Cleveland Guardians. All right, the Braves make a lot of moves last night and yesterday. Charlie Morton, they exercised a $20 million option on Charlie Morton. But they let go a $9 million option for outfielder Eddie Rosario. He's gone, or will be gone. They needed Charlie Morton back. They need pitching. And so they also declined the options for 2 right-handed relievers, Kirby Yates, a $1.25 million buyout, after the Braves decided not to bring him back for $5.75. And also they exercised a $1 million buyout for Colin McHugh rather than a $6 million option. So those guys got movement going on. The Braves, of course, need starting pitching after Kyle Wright, 21-game winner in 2022, will miss another whole season in 2024. So it's a little interesting. I think they're letting Eddie Rosario go, but they did. 21 homers, 74 RBIs, batted .255 this season. So probably considering a new position for Vaughn Grissom for the Braves. Got a big year down at AAA Gwinnett. So we'll see. Charlie Morton will return for a 4th season as part of a rotation led by Spencer Strider and Max Fried. So they need some more frontline pitching. There's a bunch of them out there to go get. Rosario again gone for the Atlanta Braves. Also, the Braves declined a $7 million option on left-handed reliever Brad Hand, who got a buyout of $500,000. In other moves, the Braves reinstated a host of pitchers from the 60-day disabled list to the 40-man rotation, or 40-man roster. Kyle Wright, Michael Soroka, Nick Anderson, some of the guys they have brought back, along with Tyler Matzik, Dylan Lee, and Colby Allard. So the Braves, again, have until November the 17th to decide whether to tender a contract to the unsigned player on the 40-man roster. All the eyes will be on Soroka. Still hadn't got back to where he wanted to be, obviously. So we'll see. That's what the Braves did. Then last but not least, before Jeff gets in here, you have, like Jeff is here, but we'll hold him off for a second. Craig Counsell, interesting story here. Counsell has been with the Milwaukee Brewers for a multiple number of years and has walked away. Now he's the manager of the Cubs. Stayed inside the division. He played a total of 6 years with the Brewers and took a job in the front office. And so he's been around this Milwaukee organization. He currently holds the franchise record for most managerial wins with 707. The Cubs lured him away for a 5-year, $40 million contract to be the manager for the Chicago Cubs. So Craig Counsell leaving the Brewers to be the new manager for the Chicago Cubs. Interesting. We're at Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. We'll take a break. Our man is in the house talking NASCAR. Oh, it ain't pretty. Between Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney, that's still even today. Talking a little trash, pointing fingers. Chastain says, I'm not backing down. I'm not scared of him. We've been friends for 10 years, and he don't scare me is what he said. It's like two little kids in a sandbox. He don't scare me. Well, there you go. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll talk NASCAR and other things. Our buddy Jeff Birchfield from the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News joins us next on the Tom Taylor Sports
Insurance. How can you help us with auto insurance?
Well, one of the things Horace Mann was started for, Tom, back in 1945 was to provide auto insurance for educators. They came up with the idea that if we could put a group of school teachers together in one company, their cars would sit in a parking lot for 10, 12 hours a day. Friday and Saturday nights, they're home grading papers. They're all college educated. They have a tendency to be better drivers because they set an example for their students. And knowing all those things, we'd probably have less claims. And so we're able to offer better insurance rates because of that.
And so, if you're a teacher, an educator, you want to come here and get a quote because of that, your quotes and your rates are typically better than other folks, right?
That's right. And we also do a couple other things for educators. If they were to get into an accident while they're on school business, we don't have a deductible on that, Tom. They won't have to pay a deductible. If somebody vandalizes their car while it's on school property, they don't pay a deductible for that. If they get into an accident on school property, we waive the deductible. If they get into an accident with another Horace Mann agent or a Horace Mann client, they're going to not have to pay a deductible also.
It's good stuff. So if you need more information, go to social media or give him a call. How can we get a hold of you and find out more?
Yeah, you can just call me here at the office at 543-0059 or go to horacemann.com on the internet, and you'd be able to find our office here.
There you go. One of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports, the good folks right here at Rick Walters, Horace Mann Insurance.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we are live here again at Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. We're joined by my man. Let's get him over on camera. Look at the handsome rascal. There he is, Jeff Birchfield. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, sir.
Well, NASCAR. So you came down to Kyle Larson, William Byron, Christopher Bell, and Ryan Blaney. Did you see this one coming? Blaney wins it.
Yeah, man, I guess of the four, Blaney would have probably been about my last pick of those four. But, I mean, he had a lot of momentum going into that race, obviously, Martinsville. And then, again, you look, and last fall at Phoenix, I felt like he could have actually won the race and got around Joey Logano, but he sort of set back there. And then he's finished second there the last couple races. So, I mean, his track record's obviously very good at Phoenix.
So hello Thomas Stout, how you doing? Jason Barnett, thank you guys for watching the show. So not mix up, but what do you want to call it? Scrape up, I guess, with Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney continues. They're still talking trash. Here it is Tuesday. There's still a war of words. So what all actually happened down there?
Well, those guys should be happy, but basically what happened is Ryan Blaney felt he had a little faster car, which he did, and Ross Chastain was blocking him, which, I mean, you know, he's trying to win the race for his team, and then Blaney's running for the championship. I mean, I agree with Chastain. I mean, I don't think those guys should just automatically pull over and let the championship contenders just go by. You know, if, you know, that's the case, then you'd only run those 4 guys, and why are the rest of the guys even out there, you know?
That's a good point. So Chastain says, I don't care what he thinks. I know we've been buddies for 10 years. He even described in the press conference when he went by him in the car, I could tell he was mad. He said, I know him. He was in there fidgeting around. He said, you could tell he was really mad at me. He said, and I don't care.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he shouldn't care.
No.
I mean, Chastain's racing for his team. Blaney's racing for his team. Ultimately, both those guys should be happy. They accomplished, you know, their goals, you know, on Sunday. So that was good.
Yep. So that's exactly what you're paid to do. Every sponsor will tell you, get out there and drive the car to win. I don't care what he thinks. I don't care what he thinks. I'm signing your check. Go win the race.
That's true. I mean, now it went a little extreme Friday night with the Truck Series race. Those kids tore up a lot of stuff, you know, and I felt bad for Grant Enfinger. It's the last race with, you know, the team that's getting ready to close down, and, you know, he basically had the championship won and then got took out. And then Ben Rhodes, it's cool to see Ben Rhodes win his second championship, but I just felt bad for Enfinger in that situation because Corey Heim and Rick Carson Hocevar, I mean, he just flat out dumped him, really, you know, you think about it.
So what happens in the off season? What does Hocevar, I mean, is there any retaliation other than just call him up and chew him out? I mean, what's done is done, right?
Yeah, what's done's done. I'd say there may be some retaliation at some point next year. He've tried to probably not make it as obvious as, you know, what Corey Heim did there, but, you know, and then Corey Heim in his post race, of course, he's not going to own up to it because obviously if he does, then NASCAR is going to find him and, you know, all that. So, you know, and then Saturday racing's pretty hot, pretty intense also, but Cole Custer, you know, ended up winning over Justin Allgaier. But those guys, even though they were racing hard like that, they still raced clean and all, you know. So
we said goodbye in the Cup Series to Kevin Harvick, Hall of Famer.
Oh, definitely. First ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he's got 60 wins, Cup Series championship, Daytona 500 win, Bristol night race won a couple times. You know, I mean, a lot of major wins on that resume and, you know, impressive feats that he, you know, plus in the Xfinity Series champion and all as well.
Who takes his place?
Well, Josh Berry's going to be there in the 8 car, but I guess in a bigger sense, who sort of takes his place as the veterans in the sport right now, I guess Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, you know, be the closest age-wise, you know, to Harvick right now.
We're talking to our buddy Jeff Birchfield. We're live here, just a steady stream all day long here at Phil's Dream Pit. Eastern Star exit of Interstate 26. Again, taking orders for the hickory smoked hams and turkeys for the holidays. You have until next Saturday to order. The hams are $9.50 a pound. The turkeys are $13.99 a pound. You can't beat it, folks. I'm telling you, it's the real deal. They're hickory smoked here. In the smoker with Brandon and the folks, the pitmaster back here in the back end behind the store or the restaurant. You can pick them up next Tuesday and Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday, and then that Tuesday. But again, that's number to call is 349-6437. You will not go wrong, I promise you. I bought them here for 5 or 6 years now. You will not go wrong if you get a smoked ham or a hickory smoked turkey right off the smoker from Phil's Dream Pit. It is out of this world good. So who's disappointing in 2023? Looking back, who had a lot of hope and promise and just didn't do it, fizzled?
Well, even though Harvick ran well that last race, that whole Stewart-Haas organization really was probably the biggest disappointment because none of those guys were competitive on a consistent basis. You had him, Chase Briscoe, who, you know, really looked good the year before, and he didn't really do anything. Of course, Eric Almirola, also his last race in the Cup Series as far as full-time, and, I mean, he's didn't do anything much in the 10 car, and, you know, so, and Ryan Preece, I guess Ryan Preece's biggest moment is known for is the big wreck at Daytona, you know, so, I mean, that's obviously your I guess, biggest disappointment. I think even though Ross Chastain won, Daniel Suarez really didn't come through like, a lot of people probably thought he would have, this year. And Austin Dillon, I thought, didn't do a whole lot. Kyle Busch won 3 races with Richard Childress racing, and Austin Dillon never even sniffed, winning a race.
So Dillon's been a disappointment. What about Logano and Keselowski?
Well, Logano definitely. Keselowski, no. I mean, because Roush Fenway was down so far as a team before Brad joined the team, and Brad advanced in the playoffs, pretty far. Now, Joey did at least win a race. He, made the playoffs, but, I mean, of course, he was eliminated after the first round, had the wreck at Bristol and all. So, to be the defending champion, he didn't do a whole lot, this past year.
Who's your up-and-comers? Obviously, Blaney's there. That'd have to be one of them won the championship. But who's some of the young guns that you feel like going to be big in the next 5 or 6 years?
Well, I mean, all 4 of those guys that qualified for the championship, William Byron, I mean, that was really his big breakout year. He had the 6 wins, and all, and he'd only won 4 races his career before, this year. People forget how young he is. So, I look for obviously the one guy left out of the disappointment was Chase Elliott, having the injuries and all. But, I mean, I expect Chase to bounce back, next year and be strong again. Austin Cindric, he's a guy that I don't know if he's, it's a big year for him coming up because he really didn't do a whole lot either, with Team Penske and stuff. So it's weird that team actually ended up winning the championship. Chris Buescher's a guy that's really not had a lot of great rides in his career, but I think now you've seen better cars, he's really able to show his talent and stuff. And if that RFK racing team keeps getting stronger, I mean, I look for Buescher to be a championship contender maybe next year.
Silly season, what's going on with some of the drivers? Any moves going on right now?
Well, the biggest thing I think everybody's waiting on sort of Kaulig racing, whether A.J. Allmendinger is going to stay in that 16 car next year or, I mean, there's been rumors Ty Dillon, obviously with his grandpa being Richard Childress, and the cars are there at the RCR shops or where, the Kaulig shop's at as well. But, I mean, all that depends, so much on sponsorship, right now.
Who's the free agent in 2024?
Be honest, I haven't. I got that far. I'd
Yeah.
have to look that up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I've been covering a few other things too. Like last night, I had the ETSU basketball season opener and all that.
how'd they look?
It wasn't their best showing. I mean, obviously they're got 11 new players, so taking a little time, as far as blending together. Now, defensively, I love the effort they're giving. They held like King University, excuse me, like 3 of 19 from 3-point range and forced 22 turnovers. So, I mean, they really got after it on the defensive end. And, that's one of the things scary. They got another tough game coming up on Thursday night. They go play at Elon, who has Zach Irvin, one of the stars on that Gate City championship team, is going to be, had a huge game for Elon in I guess, exhibition game they had. He had 22 points.
We're live here again at Phil's Dream Pit. Hello, Junior Campbell. How you doing, sir? Live here at Phil's. Again, the quest for perfect barbecue is their slogan. And behind us is all these awards they've won over the years. Chili cook-offs and rib cook-offs and it's just on and on and on. So it is awesome. What do you normally get when you come out here?
I always seem like I get the pulled chicken and pulled pork. I like a little bit of both of those. I love the ribs. I've had them here before. I mean, everything I've gotten here is good. I've actually been wanting to try one of those hot dogs like I normally see you get and stuff. And whenever it's in season, I love that chili they have here. I think that chili's best chili about anywhere around.
The brisket chili?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
awesome.
delicious.
Yep, it is. You're right. And the number, by the way, is 349-6437. 349-6437 is the number to call if you want to order anything. Or, again, place your order for these hams and turkeys for the holidays. They sell a bunch of hams and turkeys. In fact, they'll put a trailer out here, a refrigerated trailer, to hold all the hams and turkeys to get them picked up. That's how many they sell. But there's room for you at 349-6437. So, oh, gosh, Hall of Fame. What's going on with the Hall of Fame? Anything of that yet as far as the nominees and all that? We're in the off-season with the Hall of Fame, aren't we?
Yeah, they usually do that like the week of the Charlotte race down there. They've moved. The ceremony used to be in January. We'd always do that part of the NASCAR media tour and stuff. They have the NMPA Hall of Fame as well, the National Motorsports Press Association. I used to be a member of it, so it's always, fun to go and got to interview guys like Mario Andretti and different people there, it's really cool.
What are the drivers doing now? They got the awards dinner coming up.
Yeah, I think most of them probably are getting ready to spend a little time with family, vacate, and stuff. I mean, they have a little, I do know a couple of guys. I think maybe Christopher Bell, I think I saw, is going to New Zealand to race. I know Kyle Larson's done that some, over New Zealand, Australia, those sprint cars, in the past. And, and some of the guys will be competing in some big late model races and things like that. Some of those guys just can't get enough racing. William Byron, he still loves the thing he grew up, racing the iRacing, with the computer simulated stuff. So, a lot of those guys, I mean, they're all about racing,
Short track racing, what's going on with it right now around here? Everything's shut down to get ready for the new season.
Yeah,
right?
I got a story coming out tomorrow. The short track nationals are coming back to Bristol Motor Speedway in April. It's going to be more of a what they call a back gate type event, though. So we won't really be selling tickets grandstands, but there will be some pit passes. But I would encourage, if you love short track racing, man, those street stock cars are going to be in action and compact, and that's the best racing you'll ever see at Bristol Motor Speedway because you don't have all the technology you do at the NASCAR cars. And, man, those guys are all over the track and stuff and just fun to watch, really.
So what I'm going to ask you? I'm going to go class by class, division by division, A, B, C, or D. How'd the trucks go this year? What'd you think?
Trucks probably C, I guess. I mean, like I said, you had some different winners. You had Carson Hocevar, you had Christian Eckes, who won the last race. So, I mean, I guess in one sense they did a good job building some stars, for the future and all that. And then Ben Rhodes winning his second championship. Corey Heim, I talked about, his deal at Phoenix really didn't look good, but he had a really solid season. Guy who didn't win, but I thought was impressive toward the end of the year is Chase Purdy. So I thought he's another guy coming along.
Grade the Xfinity Series.
Xfinity Series, I give a solid B. It had some really good racing and stuff in the Xfinity Series this year. Obviously at Phoenix, I think the Xfinity Series put on a better show than Cup Series did, and that's not unusual, at a lot of tracks and stuff. I usually feel the Xfinity Series races at Bristol are better than the Cup races for the most part. So, of course, Cole Custer winning, but then John Hunter Nemechek had a monster year. He overdrove it, going into turn one, and then you had obviously Justin Allgaier and Sam Mayer, who were part of that championship for, had some strong seasons, So I thought the Xfinity Series was really good overall.
Cup?
Cup, I'd give it a B. I mean, I think they're still struggling on the shorter tracks with the next-gen car. The races like at Bristol and even Martinsville and some of the places not been as, good as they were with the old cars. So I think they still have some work to do on the Cup Series. They did have some momentum and had some really good crowds this year. Crowds were, up as far as live attendance. Still struggling some with the TV numbers and all.
So room for improvement.
Definitely room for improvement. I mean, I think they definitely need to, do some other things. Like I said, they've got a lot of work, and I know they've been working on the, next-gen car on the smaller tracks, but there's definitely more. Obviously, I mean, more needs to be done to make those cars race better on those small tracks.
All right, so you're ahead of NASCAR. You gave your top tier series a B. What do you do, in your humble opinion, going forward in 2024? What do you do to change it?
Well, I mean, I know they're already working on that. They had to test, after Richmond to try to work on those cars and stuff. I guess NASCAR, one thing they're always criticized on, and rightfully so, is it seems like they're inconsistent on some the, penalties they give out. Seem like they're more severe for some people than others, although I think they're getting better at that. I always hate when somebody's disqualified after a race. It's a little embarrassing. Ryan Blaney come close to missing the playoffs there at first because he had that big penalty at Las Vegas. If he'd have won, still at Martinsville like he did, he would still made it in. But, that team could have really been in a big hole. And then NASCAR's like, well, you failed inspection. And they come back and say, oh, well, you passed inspection. So that wasn't a good look for NASCAR at all.
So inconsistency is a big problem, right?
It is. I mean, it always, I think, has been for a long time with NASCAR, as far as just, sometimes seems like I'll go all the way back to like in the 90s. I remember Davey Allison won a race there at Sears Point when Ricky Rudd spun him out, and then you go to Bristol and Dale Earnhardt spins out Terry Labonte, and that's fine, So it's like, it just seems like, you know, and I'm not just singling out NASCAR on that. I mean, we've heard the same complaints about the NBA that, you know, certain superstar players, you know, won't get fouls called on them as easily as others. And in the NFL, sort of the same thing. They're always protecting the star quarterbacks a little more and stuff like that.
Preferential treatment, absolutely. I think there's very much something to that.
Even baseball, you know, you always you hear, you know, well, certain guys with the strike zone and stuff like that. So, and I mean, it makes sense in some ways, but I mean, I know officials, you know, try to be fair and all, but you know, I guess you do have that human element comes in there sometimes.
What else you working on?
I'm working on. Joe's actually on vacation this week, so I'm working on ETSU stuff. Had Coach Torbush, you know, pass away yesterday morning, which, you know, was sad news. I mean, he was such a great guy to deal with, win or lose. And I thought he was, I've heard, you know, different people, well, maybe they should have brought this guy in to start the program. I think Coach Torbush was a perfect person for that, because not only the work he did on the field, he got out there in the community and hustled and got a lot of excitement around bringing ETSU football back. But I'll have a preview of the ETSU football game, you know, a little later in the week. I've got one coming up tomorrow, preview of the ETSU basketball game with Elon, like I was talking about. You know, we're working on all kinds of high school stuff. You know, the high school season getting ready to crank up. I'm going to go to David Crockett Media Day on Friday, and just Science Hill and Dobbins Bennett and some of those schools have some signings. You know, kids going to like Division I schools here it's coming up tomorrow as well.
Enjoy your lunch, my friend. Appreciate you.
All right.
Yep, our buddy Jeff Bridgefield, sports writer, Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. Quick break. We'll be right back after this from our title sponsor, Ford of Elizabethton, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Ford of Elizabethton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
So here's the deal. An opportunity presented itself for me to come check the dealership out. They said it might be for sale. My wife, my mother-in-law, both of my sisters happened to come last September, and we ended up at the Covered Bridge event, and we just thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it was a blast. We weren't planning on being there for that. It just so happened the time that we came, the Covered Bridge event was going on, and we just loved it. We loved the community, we loved the energy, the vibe, and we felt like it would be a great opportunity for us to serve the community. Because every time I look at a store, I always look at how could we improve the community, how could we create jobs, how could we improve the business, and the upside was so tremendous in the Elizabethton community. I just felt like we could come make a big difference, and we've been able to do it.
You have. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Elizabethton. Social media, how do we find you?
So Ford of Elizabethton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Elizabethton. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're everywhere. And we're ready to serve the community, sell cars, and make some happy customers.
Amen. What's the hours you're open, sir?
So we're open at 7:37 in service, and we're open at 8:30 in sales. We stay open till 7.
Our title sponsor, the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports, Ford of Elizabethton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Colder weather.
Believe it or not, it's finally time. It seems like summer was here forever, and we're finally getting some cool mornings. I love it.
Mm-hmm. So what do we do? What do we need to do? How can you help us?
We need to come out and make sure that your heat's ready to go. Check refrigerant levels. Make sure you're not running on auxiliary heat. You don't want that first electric bill to be $500-600. So you need to make sure your heat pump's working the way it should be. And gas furnaces, we need to check gas furnaces. Make sure they're burning correctly. Not want to poison you. You don't want to not wake up one morning because your furnace wasn't clean.
Mm-hmm.
Check your filters. Make sure everybody's changes their filters regularly. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you'll do that for us, right? You'll change them out?
We'll change them if you got them.
Doing the maintenance? Yeah.
Yeah, if you got them. Now, we don't carry filters with us, but, you know, if you got them, we'll definitely change it for you. Or if you tell us ahead of time, we'll change it. We just, you know, we don't carry filters for every house. But
So preventive maintenance is the key to this, right?
Yeah, coming out, we recommend, especially if it's, you know, an older system, checking it out, you know, twice a year, especially gas furnaces. You need to check out the gas heat and your air conditioner, you know, so that's our big emphasis this time of year is checking gas furnaces, making sure they're burning properly and things like that. So
Phone number to call?
926-2665.
And how do we find you on social media?
We're on Facebook, Advanced Heat Pump, and we've got our website, advancedheatpump.com.
I can give you a recommendation, folks. He fixed mine, he can fix yours. Call this man. Let him help you and his staff. Advanced Heat Pump Systems, one of our great sponsors of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Elizabethton Cyclone Sports. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are live here at Phil's Dream Pit. The quest for perfect barbecue. You see behind me, we won so many awards here. They stopped going out on competitions. They won chili cook-offs, rib cook-offs. If you've never been here, it's the quest for perfect barbecue. Cassie's here with us. That'd be Brian's daughter, and he said, "Why don't you talk about the hams and turkeys?" Which we will in a minute. But let's talk about meat by the pound. Tell me about meat by the pound.
Well, that is where you can buy as many pounds of meat as you'd like to. You'll get your meat and your sauce. So about 1 pound of meat of any of the meats will feed about 4 people. And you can buy them in a whole pound, a quarter pound, or a half a pound.
Yep. So if you want the meat coming up with the holidays and you don't want necessarily the sides, then meat by the pound be a way to go. You also have dream packs. Tell me about the dream packs.
The dream packs go in even numbers, starting at 4 all the way up to however many people you need to feed. It'll come with 3 sides, enough to feed every person 1 serving of the 3 sides, and 4 ounces of whatever meat you choose for that many people. And it'll also come with your buns and your sauces.
Yep. What's your favorite side?
Mac and cheese or hash brown casserole.
Ooh.
But you can't get the hash brown casserole in the dream packs. That's
But
only
you-
single servings.
You're a big hash brown fan?
Yeah.
Mr. Birchfield, what are you eating down there, sir?
I've got macaroni salad and baked beans are both delicious as well.
And what would be the meat?
I've got chicken and pork.
Chicken and pork.
And pork.
And pork.
I don't know what comes first between the chicken and egg, but I eat the chicken.
Eat the chicken. All right, here we go. Let's hit this magic button. We're talking to Cassie Pipkin here again from Phil's Dream Pit. The holidays are here. The smoked hams and smoked turkeys, got them, ready to go. 349-6437 is the number to call to order them. Tell us about them, would you please?
Yeah, so our smoked hams, they're $9.50 a pound. They come from about 8 to 12 pound range. We make our own brine in-house, and we brine them in them. And then we smoke them just long enough to make them nice and juicy on the inside, and then a beautiful brown outside.
Absolutely. Hams are $9.50 a pound. The turkeys are $13.99 a pound. The cutoff to order those is coming up on November the 18th. The pickup will be on Tuesday the 21st or Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday the 22nd. We sell a bunch of hams and turkeys, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the phone number to call right now is 349-6437. So which one's your favorite, hams or turkeys?
I like the hams. I'm not a big turkey person.
Like the hams?
Yeah.
Yep. We sell a bunch of hams and turkeys here, folks. If you've never had one, you need to come get you a ham or a turkey, again, from Phil's Dream Pit for the holidays. And first one up, of course, would be for Thanksgiving. So tell us again the pricing, would you please?
Yeah, so the hams are $19.50 a pound. They come in an 8 to 12 pound range, and the turkeys are $13.99 a pound, but they're a little smaller.
Yep. Hams, $9.50 a pound. Turkeys, $13.99 a pound. Phone number to call is 349-6437. Again, the pickup, you have until Saturday the 18th to order them. You pick them up on Tuesday the 21st or Wednesday the 22nd, whichever best suits your schedule. Again, you can't go wrong, folks, with a holiday ham or a holiday turkey from Phil's Dream Pit. The quest for perfect barbecue, 349-6437. Big help from our buddy Cassie Pipkin, helping us sell hams and turkeys from right here at Phil's Dream Pit. Proud sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Elizabethton Cyclone Sports. You just did it. You were
Yay.
scared to death,
Yeah,
weren't
I
you?
was terrified.
Were you really?
Yeah,
No. Seriously?
just a little bit, yeah.
No. You did a great job. So we just made ourselves a commercial. Good job,
Look
girl.
at us.
Yeah, look at you. That's it. Look at us. Little Cassie Pipkin. Great job, lady. Thank you very much. So, again, in all seriousness, you got to try these. They are unbelievable. And I'm going to tell the story again. I tell it every time we start talking about it. Is I've taken either hams or turkeys over the years to different functions. And last year we had a ham. And the folks there had a ham from another company, another place. When I told you who it was, you'd go, really? You would. It's a very reputable and recognizable ham. And I said, y'all want to try this one. This is going to be a really good one. And so they did, in fact, put the ham I brought out on the table. And at one point, the hostess said, we're going to put this one back for a while. This ham he brought, man, that's unbelievable. So the turkey's the same thing. I've had it done both ways. Some years I'll take ham, some years I'll take turkeys. But Again, you can't go wrong. 349-6437 is the number to call. The hams are $9.50 a pound. The turkeys are $13.99 a pound. You have until Saturday the 18th to order by simply coming in person, of course, or calling. 349-6437 is the number to call. 349-6437. One of our great sponsors here again of the Tom Taylor Sports Show, which we appreciate very much, will be the folks right here. Yep, right here at Phil's Dream Pit. The quest for perfect barbecue here, as we said, Eastern Star exit of Interstate 26. Downtown Elizabethton. Show and tell time for Christmas, so I'll be your Vanna. What do we got here?
Okay. I brought some Christmas. We've got a Christmas open house coming up.
Uh-huh.
And we've got lots of cool vintage Christmas lights.
Love it.
And ornaments.
$12.50 for that, folks, right there.
Isn't that cool?
All right.
And lots of little ornament packs, shiny brights, and sometimes the boxes are as cool as what's in them.
Look at that. $15 for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 glass ornaments from back in the day, made in the USA for, what do you say, $15. Vintage Christmas ornaments from the Duck Crossing, okay?
We've got these that everybody remembers having in all their windows when they were kids. So we've got some of them that are singles. I think they make them up to like 8
Yeah.
on there.
$20, 15, nope. 10, nope. $6, $6 for that, folks, and it works, of course. $6 for that.
Yeah.
Great pricing at the Duck Crossing in downtown Elizabeth.
We've got vintage Christmas books, and we've got some. You were talking about albums. We've got some vintage Christmas albums and 45s.
Love it.
CDs, a lot of Christmas CDs.
So, and the basket she's bringing, of course, doesn't even begin to touch what's in the store. How many square footage?
On all 3 floors, we've got about 50,000.
50,000 square feet in downtown Elizabeth.
Yes, it's
and
huge.
all kinds of goodies.
We have about 55 vendors right now, so we have a little bit of everything.
Yep. And Christmas is here, obviously. It'd be a
Yes.
good time to go down and shop.
Yes.
If you're not looking for Christmas things that are Christmas, but looking for Christmas gifts, they're down there in 3 floors, 50,000 square feet. Hours are open.
We're open Monday through Friday from 11 to 5:30, and Saturdays we're open 10 to 6.
Social media, how do we find you?
Facebook, we are Duck Crossing Elizabethton, and Instagram, we are Duck Crossing Antiques.
And a phone number to call.
423-518-1858.
One of our great sponsors, folks, of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. The Duck Crossing, Misty Counts and the Kids in downtown Elizabethton. Proud sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Elizabethton Cyclone Sports. One of our great sponsors, Kristen Cannon from Cannon Furniture here in downtown Elizabethton. Why Cannon Furniture? A lot of stores out there, furniture stores. Why Cannon Furniture?
We are one of the only local, family-owned, family-run furniture stores. We carry a large variety of manufacturers. We can be your one-stop shop. Furniture, bedding, grilling, accessories. We have it all here and also do special orders. So if you can't find it, we can order it.
The beauty of being a mom and pop store, it's pretty cool because you're local and it starts and stops right here, right?
It does. Like any of their local stores, you can call us, speak to a real person. One of us will be answering the phone, not a robot. Same thing when you come in to shop, you're not just a number to us. One of our kids probably plays sports with your kids or goes to church with you or know your neighbor. So it's a good community store. We sponsor a lot of programs in the community. So when you help us, we help you, and we're all a big family.
Very good point. Hours are open?
We are open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 5.
And where do we find you on social media?
You find us on Facebook at Cannon's Fine Home Furnishings. Same thing on Instagram.
And the phone number is?
423-543-6937.
One of our great sponsors of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show, Kristen Cannon and the kids here at Cannon's Furniture in downtown Elizabethton. And back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show, before we wrap this thing up, I do want to tell you a couple of things going on at Collins Company. Again, we've got this house in Piney Flats you can bid on. Online auction event through Thursday. Got 2 more days to bid on Hideaway Farm Road in Piney Flats. Go to collinsandcompany.info for all the info. Again, looks like tear-off Gone with the Wind. Hideaway Farm Road in Piney Flats. Go to collinsandcompany.info to bid on that one. This one goes until, this just started yesterday, goes until the 21st. Lake Meadow Drive in Johnson City. Nearly an acre wooded building lot located just minutes from Boone Lake. There's a picture. You'll see a better picture if you go to the website, collinsandcompany.info. There it is. So there's that one. Then you have one that started yesterday on Fiddler's Branch Road in Hampton. Over 5 acres of mountain acreage, absolutely gorgeous. Look at here. Look at this. You can go to the website, check this one out, and bid on it, collinsandcompany.info. And then this coming Saturday, it's a 5-track live public auction event. Over 8 acres divided into 7 lots. Garrison Hollow and Charity Hill Road in Elizabethton. There it is. And so that would go to collinsandcompany.info as well. So all these are there. And all you got to do is click on the old web and check it out at collinsandcompany.info. Big thanks to Jeff Birchfield stopping by, being on the show. Appreciate him very much. And also big thanks to Jeff Beverly talking Tennessee sports. So you're a fine man. I appreciate his friendship more than he knows. Both of those guys come bid on the show. Hey, tomorrow we're going to be live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Greg will stop by tomorrow. Greg Salyer, a resident baseball guy. Lots going on in the bigs. New managers, free agent market, lots and lots of things happening. Remember, Evan Carter will be in town next Saturday for the tree lighting, the Elizabethton tree lighting, brought to you by Carter County Bank. So number 32 from the Texas Rangers will be in town next Saturday in Elizabethton to flip the switch to light up the tree for the Elizabethton tree lighting ceremony, brought to you by Carter County Bank, one of our great sponsors. And Evan Carter will be in town to do that, which we're very excited about, of course. Young man who started at 21 in the cleanup spot in the World Series as Texas won it all. And he, of course, as you well know, if you watched this show, he hails from Elizabethton, Tennessee. We'll be right back after this to say so long from Phil's Dream Pit.
We're proud to help our region move forward and help reopen every business we can.
Really easy way to feed a family or a bunch of people. We start them off at 4. Dream Pack for 4 runs $32.99, gives you a pound of meat. You can do pulled pork or pulled chicken, either one at that price. 3 sides, it's a pint each, so it's a 4-ounce serving of meat, 4-ounce serving of 3 different sides, gives you a really good meal that'll fill you up. It's not something that you eat and you're hungry later, an hour later. I'm going to include your buns, your barbecue sauce. Instead of picking up a pizza, come by here, pick up a Dream Pack. Your family will thank you. And if you need it for more people, the breakdown on it's $8.25 a person. 12 people, for instance, is $99. You'll see that advertised now from us in a lot of different places. Feed 12 people for $99. That gives you 2 pounds of meat, 1.5 quarts of each side. Still gives you the bun, still the barbecue sauce. Really, really popular. I had a group at Eastman just order a 16 for Wednesday. So you call us ahead. We can do as many people as you want. We do 100 people, 200 people. We'll put those in pans for you, or as few as 4. So in even numbers, however many you want, $8.25 a person. You can't beat it.
Cannot beat it, folks. Again, here at Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. The phone number is 349-6437. Hours are open
11 to 7, Tuesday through Saturday. We take Sunday and Monday off, but we're here the rest of the week.
Social media?
Social media on Facebook. Maybe Instagram later if one of my kids shows me how to use it, but right now it's on Facebook. That's where people watch you, so we'll figure they've got it here.
And the website is?
Website is philsdreampit.com.
You got it.
I see a familiar face here. Looks like he's ready to talk to you.
He is.
That's
our buddy Jeff.
Going to talk some NASCAR, I'm betting.
That's our buddy Brian Pipkin, the owner of Phil's Dream Pit, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. That's going to do it. A big thank you again to our guest, Jeff Beverly, and also Jeff Birchfield. And, of course, Cassie Pipkin coming in and talking about those hams. Hams at $9.50 a pound. Turkeys at $13.99 a pound. They're smoked, and they are delish. I promise you. And you have until the 18th. So I know last year we had that ham, man, it was good. Sliced that ham. And we had an opportunity, of course, to I said mashed potatoes and gravy. We sliced that ham, and the steam flew off that ham and laid it on the plate. Slathered it in gravy. And, again, it was very, very, very good, to say the least. And mashed potatoes and gravy and big old hot dinner rolls and that big old ham right in the middle of the plate. Again, the ham, again, from Phil's Dream Pit. The quest for perfect barbecue is excellent, so we would encourage you to come and order. 349-6437 is the number to call. 349-6437. Phil's Dream Pit here, Eastern Star exit of Interstate 26. Call them at 349-6437 or stop by until next Saturday, the 18th of November. You can order your hams and or turkeys or both for Thanksgiving. Then we'll do it again for Christmas. So we'll take them one at a time. Back with you again coming up tomorrow will be a Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Broadcasting live from there on show number 1962. Wrap up show number 1961 today. And again, the verse today is Psalms 102:1. Hear my prayer, O Lord. Let my cry for help come to you. Good way to end it. See you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching the show number 1961. On our way to 2000. We're live here at Phil's Dream Pit, Eastern Star exit of Interstate 26. Until tomorrow, we'll tell you as always, bloom where you're planted.